I am at the Dallas airport right now, Dallas-Fort Worth by TSA. And yeah, we're gonna head out to Las Vegas right now. We are going to be talking about why is it that some people who are bad get into heaven, because people talk about it like as if it's just not fair, and well, it's not dependent on whether or not you are good or bad or anything about your abilities, because well, it's all about your mode of transportation. And right now I am at the Dallas airport and I have no wings. I'm not a great runner, but still I am going to make it to my destination today in spite of my lack of flying abilities, because I have a plane ticket. So that's how I am going to be making it from Dallas, where I am right now, to Las Vegas.
One of the biggest misconceptions that I come across, whether speaking with Christians or non-Christians, is the idea that you need to be a good person to go to heaven, and that it just does not make sense that somebody who commits crimes, let's say like a serial killer or a very evil person, can go to heaven if they put their trust in Jesus. But I've really never understood why this has always been an argument, because getting into heaven has never been about good works or bad works. It's all about what Jesus has done. Now, if I want to go across the country, I'm not going to be able to fly there myself. I don't have wings. I physically cannot do it. One of the biggest misconceptions I see amongst people when they talk about heaven is they think that somehow your good works are what determines whether or not you get into heaven. And that is the farthest thing from the truth, because if you have committed one sin, you can't go to heaven. Even one sin keeps you out of heaven. And that's because God is holy. So everything has to be perfect. And it reminds me of, and I've spoken about this on my blog, it's my oldest blog post that you'll see that has to do with religion, is that if you want to go somewhere, you can't rely on your abilities. Whether or not you fly somewhere has nothing to do with whether you've trained to be a pilot. It doesn't matter if you have wings yourself. It doesn't matter how good you are or if you're a nice person. The only thing that is going to matter is, do you have a ticket to get on a plane? Now, of course, the footage that I'm showing you is just my trip from Las Vegas to Dallas. But let's say you want to go to a place like Hawaii. I don't have footage of it, but here's a photo that I took from the plane when I was landing in Hawaii. But if you want to go there, you can't rest on your own abilities, because your own abilities are never, ever, ever going to be good enough to get you to your destination. Whether you think that, hey, only good swimmers should be able to swim to Hawaii. Well, sorry, that's not possible, because the expanse is just too great. You're either going to be eaten by an animal, you're going to succumb to the elements, you're going to starve to death, or you're going to drown at some point. It does not matter how good of a swimmer you are, you cannot swim to Hawaii. Now, likewise, if you want to fly somewhere, you physically cannot do it. You are not equipped with the wings or the physical ability to fly there. The only thing that matters is, do you have a mode of transportation? And it's the same with heaven, because one sin keeps you out of heaven. One sin is all it takes, because it makes you unholy, and God is holy. So we have to be holy. And if you want to get to heaven, you can't trust on your own ability to get there, because you physically cannot do it. Your limitations, your physical limitations, keep you out of God's presence. And that physical limitation is your sin nature. So what are you going to do? You need something that will get you there that is not dependent on your own ability, and that is putting your trust in Jesus Christ. Because the only way you're going to get to heaven is not through your own ability, but by Jesus's ability. And when you say, I accept you, Jesus, you're saying, you are my mode of transportation. That is the only way I get to have a relationship with the Father. That's the only way I get to go to heaven, is by accepting Jesus. Jesus is that boat. Jesus is that airplane for you. And it doesn't matter if you're a good person or a bad person. It's, do you have a mode of transportation? So if you want to get to the other side, you better have a ticket. And the only way that you're going to have a ticket is if you accept Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, regardless of whether or not you are a good person. That's all that I wanted to share with you. I hope you will like, subscribe, and share. Love to see you later. Bye.